Anyway, kind of part two with more details. Uh, Reading or writing, well, Stratton's writings. Now, one thing Stratton didn't do. Stratton did go by what Olive said. He did not lie about what she said, and so Olive's writings did, in fact, get into the Stratton book. And so Olive wrote where they went and what they did. Okay, so the first fire was here where they tormented them. Well, we got lots of meat, and he said he didn't have it. He deserved what he got. Okay, well, she described where they went, and also her descriptions of the moonlight defines the time that they were there, that they went right here. And so the bloody feet, so-called bloody feet, and I've been up there at night. Bloody feet occurred only in a very small zone of 200 or 300 feet, right in here. And her own words said that when we were in the shadows of the little berms and rocks, we couldn't see what we were doing. In other words, what I'm saying is you can't know it unless you've been there and done it. Okay, and then they spent the long night up here. And where she said, at that, she claimed that they fashioned the moccasins here. That is not true. That's a lie. They put that in there to dramatize the book because they knew they could get away with it. No moccasins were fashioned here when they dressed out the cattle. Moccasins were fashioned here because they couldn't have made it down like from here to here. You will not go down there barefooted. Can't be done. It's razor sharp pumice. So I believe that was a lie that got in there. The moccasins were fashioned there because they knew they couldn't go on, not here where they dressed out the cattle. Okay, the next thing, they go across, and she said we went to the northeast. Okay, and then they come up to the Snug Ravine. Well, what about where the Indians shot the arrow at her? How can a person know that exactly? Simple. Go there. Go there. Go up here. Does not exist. That what she described, that we came around the side of, I forget what she called, a pinnacle or whatever, but at the exact time after leaving the Snug Ravine and going up into here, it matches exactly and precisely what she said. That we came up from behind the little berm that comes down here, and there they were. There they were. So when you're up there, you'll see it. You'll see it. And it matches exactly her timeline. Let's see, what's the next thing? Okay. Now, what will trick people is if you go up there, and this is why the Indians did it. You're going to think, well, here's this big wash, I'll go up this wash. Well, everybody can see you, and the Indians knew it. They actually use this one. They actually use this one. And then right here, you could be standing right here. You can't see it. Let me see if I can tilt it. What they did was, and this is how the Indians did it, just like in the movies, that right here, at this exact spot, the Indians with their horses and everything could be sitting here, right here, and you're standing right there, and you're looking out. And what they were doing is they would survey the wagon trains coming up, but you can't see them. You can't see the Indians. The wagon train routes are all along here. Now, I don't want to rotate up and zoom along, but the wagon train routes were all along here. And so they would view out. They would view out and then swoop down on them at the correct time, usually at dusk, in the moonlight. That's why the term the Comanche moon. These weren't Comanches. No, these were Western Yavapai. Okay, Okay, but that is what they would do, and that is why that when the Oatmans, when the Indians came up on the Oatmans, they had been being viewed for miles in the moonlight. What's the next critical thing? Okay. Okay, right along here, Olive said, we came up upon the Indians in half-buried huts. No such thing occurred. There were no Indians there in half-buried huts. Did not occur there at any time in the history of the world. Now, what that was, she tied in stuff from later during her captivity in which she was allowed to travel freely, which she did. She was allowed to travel freely, even right back to the Pima and visit the Pima, where they were in half-buried huts. Okay, but she kept that a secret because she didn't want it to be known that she was a full Indian and free to travel. But no half-buried huts occurred here. That was an absolute total bullshit lie on Olive's part. And then I think that's all for this one. Now, where did the chief come from, the Mojave? Well, it's well known where he came from. They just simply walked along. Now, I don't want to Lake Havasu City and all that. I don't want to do it right now, but they just simply walked along another 3 days. And you know, one video says, well, they marched for 10 days. Never happened. Never happened. It was approximately the same distance or less through obvious areas where they went up through the cut, like likely here. I don't want to do it now, and then walk down to the Mojave Valley 3 or 4 days. Not 10 days, hundreds of miles. Okay. That's all for this one.